Australians that have been ravaged by injuries and illness in preparation for tonight's big game. Number 9, Paul Trimboli, has come in for the injured Carl Vian, who limped off this ground last night. Jim Patikas was also ruled out, and just hours before the kickoff, Itek Gench fell ill. The side features only 4 players who started the recent World Cup game in Melbourne against New Zealand: Bosnich, Jurakovic, Tobin, and number 8, Jason Polak. The Dutch connection might be missing, but this tour heralds a new beginning for AC Milan. The starting lineup is worth around $100 million, and it features former European Player of the Year Jean-Pierre Papin and Croatian star Zvonimir Boban. Veteran Franco Baresi will again lead this side. It felt like yesterday when this tour was first being touted. A lot of critics didn't expect this to eventuate, and it's all in readiness here now, John. The tension, the feeling is great. It reminds me of the Israel-Australia World Cup game of '89, the build-up, but we're talking about the world's #1 club side.
Well, the tension is the same, but the quality of the opponent, with no disrespect to Israel, is much higher. It's outstanding opportunity for, particularly for many of the fringe players in Eddie Thompson's Socceroos squad, to push forward their claims. And it's going to be tense, Andy, should they advance here. Canada, the next stage of the World Cup, and then either Peru or Paraguay, Colombia or Argentina will be played probably in this stadium, should we beat Canada. So it's an ideal preparation to be able to perform under pressure, not just of the opponent, but of the expectation of the crowd.
Donadoni, one of 8 international players in this 11. Richard Lorenz, he's almost ready. He's checked with his linesman Robbie Davis, and now John Bowdlow. Rossi gives the signal. Bosnich gives the signal. We're underway. The Socceroos against Australia. Blagojevic. Mori. The pressure on Damien Mori. He came into the squad at the last minute after Ned Zelic withdrew. And now Gali, who's played just 1 game in Italy in a 12-month period. And now the pressure. Mori. Baresi. Deflection off him. Mori gets the deep ball in. Lazaridis chases. He should keep it in. His first appearance in Australia in the green and gold, and the cross was easily cut out. But a promising sign already for Australia. And the pressure had really come from Mori. Polak. Vidmar. Alex Tobin. Blagojevic. Nice touch on. Mori's made the run down the right, and it's slotted inside the flag up. And there was the offside trap working to perfection, as both John and Les Murray had mentioned earlier.
Well, they're the best in the world at it, Andy. Australia just have to be a little bit careful, particularly the runners and the deliverer of the ball, because they will play it all night. There's no one better at it, and Australia really have to pay a lot more attention in those types of situations. But a good first few touches from Australia. Good to see Blagojevic back, a talented player. Missed the New Zealand series, but has his opportunity tonight.
Ivanovic, who's played against Red Star back in '88 in the European Cup fixture. In went Tobin with a stern challenge on Massaro. Ivanovic dispossessed by Albertini. Di Napoli inside, Massaro on for Papin. Jurakovic was forced to clear, and then Tobin lost his footing, and Jurakovic saved the day. First quarter of the game. 2 minutes in. Mark Bosnich. Donadoni's corner. And it was well headed by Vidmar. Donadoni again. Mori in front of him. Much deeper ball. That was Massaro. And by Lazaridis, across by Albertini. Tassotti inside. Polak. Lazaridis keeping his poise. Ivanovic. Polak. Wade inside. Now Wade. Good possessional play by Australia. Jurakovic played the last man there. And Gali with the interception. And yes, he was clipped. Slowly Boban. Donadoni has played for his country 44 times. And what about the Napoli? He's been to the World Cup. He knows all about the pressures of international football. It's been such a long season for AC Milan. They played a game in South Africa against the Orlando Pirates where they were victorious by 3-2, and the Bar scored 2 goals, and Donadoni, a lovely left-footed shot which resulted in the other goal. Eddie Thompson was saying that before the game, the wide defenders on the left and the right were up for grabs. One of the centre-back positions he was having a look at, and a wide midfielder. So this is really a great opportunity for the likes of the Vidmars and the Blagojevic's.
Well, it is, and those roles in modern football, the flank defenders, attackers, if you like, playing in the Vidmar Blagojevic role tonight are so important. If you are not operating in those areas, you're really not attacking with any width and certainly any penetration.
Vidmar trying to get it through for Mori. There was no hope of him getting to that one. And Fabio Capello was the man on the far right. What a success he's been since he took over 18 months ago. Nava, the number 3, will take the throw in. It's inside for Masato. Polak in there. Now Wade. 3 AC Milan shirts around him. Albertini. Great cutout work by Ivanovic, but Albertini gets it back for Nava, who's a Milan product. And, well, Jurakovic has lost his footing, and still it's not out of danger. Polak. The greasy service causing them some headaches out there. It's been a pretty cold night. I must say the football stadium is looking a bit better than what we've seen from previous soccer matches here. Galeon, Albertini. Rezi just sliding it on. Boban got the touch on, and there's Blagojevic back for Ivanovic. Gali. Tassotti. And climbing high was Tony Vidmar. Well, AC Milan have plenty of depth to call upon. Coca-Cola Socceroos have Bingley, Milosevic, Spink and Zabika on the bench. Warren Spink was called into the team at the last minute today, as Donadoni just jogs back into position. Mark Bosnich. Must commend him for staying on for this fixture. Tobin on Mori, trying to glide it on for Trimboli. Papan. Rakovic right on his back. And this will be an interesting duel, won't it?
Well, it's a duel of the match. Jurakovic, who did so well when Australia played England, marking Lineker. And that foul, I felt, was a fair challenge, Andy. He's got to the ball first. Papan's then fallen over him. But Jurakovic did so well with Lineker against England. he's got an equally hard task here tonight against Papena.
It was Tobin, Lazaridis on. It just went wide of Polak. But not Albertini, who's got it back now for Gali. To Sotti. Donadoni. This looks promising for AC Milan. And this time it's Milan Ivanovic. 3 fouls committed by the Australians as against 2 from AC Milan. Tassotti and Donadoni. It's Donadoni who'll take it. That was Milan Ivanovic. Mori with the interception. Lazaridis on his left. Mori again. Gali right on his back. Gali brings him down. Damien Mori. Well, he's certainly a late inclusion in this side, but he is not overawed by the calibre of opponent out there at all. How have you seen it so far, John?
Well, it's taken time to settle, Andy. It's Milan putting the pressure, as you would expect. Australia playing a good pressure-rising game. The only complaint with our game is that when we're getting the ball, we're giving it away too easily, but that's easier for us to say sitting here. But probably a little bit more composure on the ball. But early days yet, and the surface is probably the biggest problem for Australia. Well, 2 of the biggest chances that Milan have had have been slips, one from Tobin, I believe, and one from Jurakovic.
Trimboli should be climbing here, but Gali got up there. In was Wade. The bun can't get the better of Jurakovic, and he was taken out late there. Jurakovic. Papin had a bit of a swing. There was really no need for that from Jean-Pierre Papin.
Well, it shows the frustration of Papin that yellow card for it too, but Jurakovic is doing a good job on him, preventing him from playing. Good clean marking. And Papin too under a lot of pressure, a lot of speculation about his future at Milan, so he's out to put on a good show, and Jurakovic is stopping him from doing it.
The coach there, or manager as we should be calling it, but that's an Australianised version, Fabio Capello, ex-player and international. Also played at Roma and Juve along with Milan. And he worked, interesting story there, he worked with Berlusconi in his media empire, got a bit of experience on the managerial side of things.
And saying at the press conference, Andy was instrumental in the signing of David Campese for the rugby union.
Yeah, Campese has been an interested spectator at training the last couple of nights. And you talk about training, they hopped off the plane, they trained that night, they trained yesterday, they trained this morning. That's the difference. And
just telling
you don't have to be
it.
Einstein, do you? Yeah. The AC Milan entourage, of which you've had quite a bit to do. They're lovely people. They've been most helpful with.
Well, it's not easy to arrive as they did. Their training has been very high quality. Gali, there we just saw on camera. It's a big night for him too. He's been out injured for so long. It's a chance for him to put his name back in the hat.
He's a local player, Gali. Interesting story.
Gali, many of them come up through their own
ranks. He was
ranks.
signed up in hospital until 1995. That's how much respect they have for their player. He had about 4 operations, I think, on his knee.
That's the type of ball I don't think we can play. We just can't play it long. We don't have the height in front. Trimboli's sort of out and out up front. We don't have the height, but just to give possession away, I think that's just playing into Milan's hands. We have to have more composure and more build-up when in possession.
Certainly one of the youngest Australian sides to have played in recent years. You look at the Lazaridis, the Polak, Morris and Trimboli's, Blagojevic's and Vidmar. That's players under the age of 25. Be a bit tough on Milan Blagojevic come the last 10 or 15 minutes. He hasn't had a full hit out for quite a few weeks. Up goes Wade for Trimboli, and it's skidded through straight to Rossi.
One of the many qualities, Paul Wade, so strong in the air. Particularly the likes of Arnold out tonight. Wade's role in that area is going to be more important.
Now the counter could be on for Australia. Wade just blocked there by Gali. Looked like it might have been on for Trimboli, and at the other end, Papan. A hand there, signal from Eliza. Referee waves play on. That's good to see. Richard Lorenz lets play continue. Trimboli trying to get it through for Wade, and they close them down so quickly. There's always 2 or 3 ACMilan players there. Perezi, Papan with a great knot on. Boban. Here comes a dangerous looking ball, and it's gone in. Oh, goal! Tony Vidmar has put the ball into his own net. And what a tragedy for Australia. He just tried to play it away safely for the corner kick. And you really feel sorry for the man, because he's been called back in the Socceroos squad after missing the New Zealand game. Bournemouth with a great turn here. The cross, it looked like it was well covered, and Bosnich had no chance. This is a different look at that goal.
What a header from Papan across from Boban, but on Tony's right, on Tony's correct foot, his left foot. Could have been the other one. You could have had some reason for it, but nobody knows more than Tony. Look, hands in the head in the hands, I should say, and that's a disastrous start for Australia.
Well, is there any other worse feeling for a football player?
I'm sure there isn't.
Vidmar for Mori. Vidmar's kept the run going. Credit to Nava, the number 3, right on the back there of Mori, not giving him any room. Donadoni, not much support over there at the moment, although Napoli is coming over. He made it look really easy there, Donadoni. Boban and Blagojevic. Zvonimir Boban and Bosnich, and hooked away in the end by Jurakovic. A dangerous cross from Zvonimir Boban. It looked like perhaps Bosnich might have been obstructed at that near post as it came in, and he might have caught it late. But either way, those crosses from that left side from Boban, already we've seen what he can do. We saw the own goal earlier. And that sub-attempt from the man in question, Zvonimir Boban.
Boban coming into his own end. He's tipped to take over from Frank Rijkaard. This is a great save from Bosnich. And I don't believe it was a cross. I believe he really meant the shot at goal, but what a great save from Bosnich.
And Bosnich knows a lot about this man. They played against each other in a testimonial. Boban was playing for Bardi. He was loaned out there, and it was David Platt's testimonial against Aston Villa. Although with Rijkaard and Hullet on their way, it's more than likely they're in the market for 2 more foreign players. Ivanovic bringing down Boban. You talk about the millions in this ACMilan side. Milan Ivanovic was the biggest transfer player to come to Australia, 50,000 back in '88. And what a difference. You talk about the 6, 7 millions, the 12 millions and so on. Oh. And against the crossbar. What a header indeed by Massaro, I think it was. Daniel Massaro. And Zvonimir Boban is on fire. That ball inside. And it should have been 2. Escape for Australia. Polak on for Mori, Nava there. And that's deemed a foul by Richard Lorenz, just hooking the leg there of Nava. Boban. Masado Papan inside. Boban. That's a sweet shot. Good take at that near post by Bosnich. Boban again stamping his class on this game. Soddy with a little bit of a chase. And this time Lazaridis didn't give him much room at all. And his debut against Kuwait just a few months ago. And what a 12 months it's been. From the State League in Western Australia, the Coca-Cola Soccer League, and into the Socceroos. Barese. Nava. Boban to play it straight away, and Masada was onside, and Bosnich read it very well. He's like an extra sweeper, Mark Bosnich. His game, as you would have expected, has improved in leaps and bounds since his move to Aston Villa. And Barese and Wade colliding there. I don't think there was any real malice there at all. Barese kept his eye on the ball. Be interested to see that on replay. Although Wade is a tough customer, he's gone deep into that area. And already we've seen Paul Wade out jump the defence once. And that caused them some concern. Blagojevich looks up. And it comes. And in was Wade. Boban wasn't happy. I don't think there was any intent to commit the foul there. And again, good sportsmanship. Wade, no ill effects of the pneumonia that he had and the flu that forced him out of that New Zealand World Cup game. Boban with an elegant flick on. Ivanovic. All the Australians had come back except for Trimboli. Important for Australia to keep this scoreline going into the break. Donadoni. Baban's shot at the time! It was worth the $42 just to sit here and see that. Jean-Pierre Papin, the first opportunity. Ivanovic, Wade, Drakovic, and that's a good option. Milan Blagojevich, staying long for Trimboli. Now Leon.
Well, it's one thing that we can't do is just play it high through the middle to Trimboli. We're not going to get any change there at all. It has to be a wider build-up using Blagojevich, using Mori.
Donadoni! That was brilliant from Roberto Donadoni. The $7 million midfielder with a $1 million pile driver. Lovely strike. He's worked well on that right side, and for once he thought, well, I'll be selfish here.
And for younger players watching, Andy, the beauty if you are a right-sided player that you are able to strike the ball with the left foot. When you come inside, you do have the extra space. And the beauty of it is that you can do things like that, hit it with the left foot.
Now Vidmar's taken off. Tassori, Vidmar, can he keep it in? Well, he has. Murray! The chance really for Australia. I looked at the linesman, he didn't signal. That's great work from Vidmar. And maybe it caught Murray by surprise, but what a time to strike in injury time.
The whole of the ball, not across the whole of the line. Good decision. But Australia need that. We were saying earlier that they need more from Blagojevich. You need more from Vidmar. Those flank defender attacking type players, Vidmar, Blagojevich, have to join in the attack to do things like that. It's the only way you can stretch a defence like Milan's.
It's been tough for Blagojevich. He's had Boban right down his throat.
Well, that's his other problem, isn't it? How do you get forward when you've got to look after Boban?
That's it for the first half. AC Milan All up, they had 6 shots on goal. Boban's cross resulted in the only goal of the game. A real tragic line of events for Australia. Winning off Vidmar. Franco Baresi, he comes off, but an entertaining 45 minutes as the players go off. And just to remind you that each team is allowed to make 4 changes, including a goalkeeping change as well. Half-time here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Australia 0, AC Milan 1.
After 2 scintillating wins over rival New Zealand, it's now
Australia versus Canada. Come and support the Socceroos.
This is your last chance to see the Dream Team in action on the road to USA '94.
We're fighting for a place in the World Cup.
Both countries will rely on a host of well-performed foreign-based professionals. Don't miss Australia versus Canada, August 15th. Tickets on sale from Ticketek.
SBS Television, Australia's soccer network, has brought together a fantastic range of sports products, including official World Youth Championship soccer merchandise exclusive to SBS. We're proud to be the host broadcaster of the 7th World Youth Championship, and our commitment to soccer is followed through to our World Sports Catalogue. There are books and videos on soccer training and strategies, as well as books on the FA Cup, the Guinness Book on who's who in soccer, and videos on soccer's hard men and great goals. SBS also has great gift ideas for fans of rugby, cricket, tennis, basketball and boating. So if you like world sports, ring now and we'll send you the SBS Sports Catalogue. Phone 02 810 7000 or 008 252 229.
This telecast of the Optus AC Milan Tour of Australia is proudly brought to you by Optus Communications in association with MasterCard, AMP and Mitsubishi Motors.
2 changes, Lentini and Eranio on and Spink on for Australia. Spink has come on for Trimboli. And I noticed that Tassotti's not out there. We're underway again. And Massaro and Tassotti are the 2 players out for AC. Donadoni. We've got it back to the new player. Eranio inside for Baresi. Baresi. Now Polak chasing down, and Nava's gone down, and Nava's in a great deal of bother on that far side. Jurakovic in there ahead of Papan. Vidmar. And Nava has not moved from that position on that far side. So Warren Spink, who was called into the squad today, finds himself up against the might of AC Milan. A lot has been said and written about the $28 million player Lentini. I just wonder whether Milan will be forced to make yet another change. That was the incident as Polak came across. Certainly no malice at all. Away by Gali. Vidmar too strong for Lazaridis. A flag's up. But just on Spink, the good sign there for Spink, the fact that he hasn't stopped playing because he's on loan at the moment to Bonnyrigg, the champions of the New South Wales Super League. So his match condition and fitness will be up there. He didn't really get much time to introduce himself to the rest of the squad. Jurakovic away. Donadoni. Squeezing it on for Lentini. And you can see there, Mehmet Jurakovic. There was certainly no talk of a penalty there. Murray. And that Milan side just shifted across to the left. One possession back and they'll start all over again. Tobin in there now. Wade. Blagojevich. Polak. And again the former Olyroos Milan Blagojevich. Wade. Spink. And the shift to the left was looked to be on. And this time Jurakovic. And that'll be a corner. We talked about the own goal in the first half, and remembering here against England when Australia lost 1-0, it was an own goal. And the corner had come in from this side as well. Donadoni. Sweet looking ball for Lentini. Gianluigi Lentini, the biggest transfer in world football. Now Blagojevich, Polak. You've got to get it away from that defensive third. And that's good play from Australia. Murray. There's men inside for Damien Murray. But there's 3 men there for AC Milan. Watching this Italian team play, John, it's like they have 15 players on the field. Donadoni, you see that sweet ball. He's laid it on to Boban. Now I should say it was Lentini. And on the line was Vidmar. That time it was Boban. But you take your hats off to the skills, the class, and the understanding of this Milan team.
How to counter-attack so effectively. 2-3 passes the other end of the field. Good dribbling skill from Lentini. And full marks to Mark Bosnich there, just spreading himself to block the shot from Lentini.
Boban. Lentini.
Stand up! Stand up!
As you would expect, the introduction of this player made a huge difference. Boban. Lazaridis, good interception. Although Costa-Corta comes away with it. Plays it back now to Di Napoli. And across. Iranio looking for a return. It's on for Iranio. Papan, the shots. Return. Too much height. He hasn't been given that much room tonight, Jean-Pierre Papin, but when he's been free, you sense something is definitely on.
Well, it's a couple of minutes of Milan magic, starting with Lentini, the dribble on the far side, and ending up many passes later with a shot from Papin. I think the difficult thing for Australia, apart from the obvious quality of the opponent, is there's just have been so many changes. They just haven't had it together as a team, as say the full so-called full-strength side. But again, it is invaluable for these players, all of whom are going to participate in Australia's campaign for the World Cup.
And Wade was the man who found Vidmar. Vidmar wanted Lazaridis to go away from him, puts it in for Spink. It was always on for the keeper, curling towards him, but you've got to really give credit where it's due there. Australia with a good return there. And they have looked dangerous when they've been able to get down these flanks, particularly. But what about this? That was class.
That is.
And so was the goalkeeping. That was brilliant to watch from Boban. But what about Bosnic? He stood his ground. And they both have families from the same part of the world in Croatia. Maybe Bosnic knew something there that Boban didn't. And Zabika will be coming in. Then again, he might be swayed to stick around the second game. Murray. And now again, same side. They should be able to get this ball in. Lazaridis comes across. Rossi organising his defenders. Now, Tobin's gone near post. Spink and Polak are deep, and Wade just hovering there. Lentini is staying with him. That's not a bad-looking call at all. That was some header from Boban, who's gone down as Vidmar and Boban clashed. They should just clear the ball away. And now well, some of the Milan players were shrugging the shirt of Richard Lorenz. There's really no need for that, although Boban is in a lot of bother at the moment, and so is Tony Vidmar. Well, it was there for either player. On the right-hand side, you'll see Vidmar come through. Ooh. It's 1-0 at the moment. 20 minutes left. The opening game of the Optus ACMilan Tour of Australia. Lentini. Tobin there again. Lentini breaks away, and the cross straight into the body of Milan Ivanovic. Lentini again. Lovely run inside, but fun at the near post. And that took some skill from the captain, Paul Wade. The pressure was right on the Socceroo captain. He got it away. Donadoni. Saw Boban deep. Durakovic. And Bosnic will just slow it down. Mike Bosnic spent 2 days last week at the Institute of Sport getting some checks, some fitness evaluation tests. Polak. Vidmar. Spink was taking off, and Barezic just stayed with him. Lazaridis. Wade. Look at that, 5 AC Milan shirts there. Polak looking for Murray. Rossi comes out, and he spills it. Oh, Murray goes down. Richard Lorenz signal dive. An interesting one, John.
Well, to be the talking point of the game, penalty or not. No, I don't think it was a penalty, Andy. He's fallen over the top of the keeper. Now the referee right again. But Australia getting a little bit of space through the middle there. We saw Spink before, we saw Murray now.
Murray is certainly pushed right up on them on that right side.
A better period for Australia.
It came off Tobin. And the touch on for Boban. There's Blagojevic. Threading it through, back past Law. And that's the smart option. It's just perhaps one of the best periods of the game for the Coca-Cola Socceroos. Ball was still in. And the miscue there from Di Napoli. And luckily for Milan, it's still in, and they've won the free kick. And that'll just relieve a bit of the pressure. And Damien Mori, I don't think he was wishing him all the best for Christmas. Blagojevic. Not much runners off the ball at the moment, only Spink. Looking for Blagojevic. Ross is coming. And that huge throw. And there's Boban. Papan inside. Boban. And back by Polak. Boban thought he was pushed off the ball. The referee didn't have any of it. And Papan with the steal. And he had no chance at all to get back there.
That illustrates our point earlier, Andy, of the counter-attack. Australia get a little bit of confidence, having the better period of the match, pushing forward. But as you do, that long throw from Rossi, I don't think I've seen a throw as long as that. And the ability to be able to pull you apart with just two moves. Well, let's tend to agree with...
Yeah, well, it's one of those decisions the referee has to make straight away. We've seen penalties given for that sort of challenge.
Well, I would disagree with the referee there.
Well, what a shame. Tony Vidmar has to come out of the game.
Lazaridis will get dropped back. Here's the incident again.
Well, Dr. Corrigan has checked. There was the replay, of course, of the incident, but Dr. Corrigan is checking Vidmar. Bingley will no doubt come on. There's Bereze. Looks up. Eranio. Donadoni on his right. That's class. Roberto Donadoni was looking for Di Napoli. Lazaridis. Eranio back. Just 10 minutes of normal time left in the game. The Socceroos pull it back to 1-1. Milan grab a second goal. They've looked like doing it on a number of occasions. Credit to the Australian defence. There's Lazaridis there on Donadoni. Polak to Wade. Spink had to drop back to help his defence because they have 10 players, and Lazaridis blows it out for a change. The fans don't like it. That's the reason, because Bingley's come on, and what a day for Matthew Bingley, making his debut in the Socceroo colours. Bingley, one of the outstanding talents in the Coca-Cola Soccer League. A great season for Marconi Fairfield, the champions. And Bingley's used to this sort of pressure. He's played before bigger crowds.
And used to this type of position. I mean, this is during the World Youth Championship in Portugal. It was a role he filled wide on the left or the right, mainly on the left. Of course, he was a former forward.
So Lazaridis will drop back into Vidmar's role. Quite a few changes for both teams positionally. Bosnich just made sure, just at the edge of that area, just in case, because coming through was Costa Corta, and pushed up from the left back position. Lazaridis will spin away from Bingley. Good work from Bingley, just running in on Eranio. Gali. Jean-Pierre Papin. And clever work from Bosnich. From Durakovic, rather, getting it back to Bosnich. Bosnich in a bit of a hurry. Polak. And in came Costa Curta on Mori. And another change to be made. Ivani will be the man coming on. And it looks like Boban. So those two players involved in that clash of heads, Boban and Vidmar, their contribution has come to an end. But what a game Zvonimir Boban has had here at the Sydney Football Stadium.
Particularly the first half, Andy, it was his. So much skill, so much fine attacking game, strike on goal. Hadn't been for that brilliant save from Bosnich, he would be on the scorers list.
Well, John, 12 million goes off and 4 million runs on. It's amazing, isn't it? Around 100, what is it, with this squad, around $180 million worth of talent. One for Lentini to chase. Just getting over that Optus sign. Ivanovic played against played for Red Star rather against AC Milan in '88 at the San Siro. Polak. Lazaridis for Bingley. He's already been booked. He's already been booked in the game. Jurakovic is down. Maybe in other matches, Johnny might have been
more
given
serious
a second
circumstance. Well, if we could put it serious circumstances, would it be a second yellow? But Jurakovic has done a great job again. We saw with marking Gary Lineker here when England were here. And now tonight with Papen, they don't come much better than those two.
What a coincidence. An own goal split the teams back then as well. With the last 5 minutes of normal time. And what will Jurakovic do this time? So we go back to the figures, John. Papan's around 21 million. And what would Mehmet fetch on the market?
Just looking ahead to the World Cup, there was concern over the defence against New Zealand. I think Jurakovic is better suited to that
marker role.
Marker role.
And Tini's ball inside, and it was Papan. And again, Jurakovic right in the thick of it. Papan will hate to see that number 3 shirt again in the second game. And I think we'll have to get used to it. Tomorrow night it'll be Jurakovic against Papan. We talked about Wade and we talked a bit of Mori, and Jurakovic also has to be commended, as well as Bosnich. In fact, overall it's been a pretty good performance for what really is a stopgap Socceroo lineup.
Well, the 2 saves from Bosnich, the one in the first half, are both from Boban, yeah. It would have all been over a lot earlier, but for those.
It really augurs well for the second game at Princes Park in Melbourne. Tickets still available for that one. It was almost a sellout here. Cool played by Di Napoli. Gali. Bonadoni dropping. Ivanovic on. Spin Kemperese over there. So is Costa Curta. Mori. Mori was trying to get around Costa Curta. And he did it the wrong way, really. That's been a real feature in the second half, the duel between the substitute Costa Curta and Damien Mori. And if this was a rugby league game, that would have been one of the tackles of the game. Spink. There's only Bingley ahead of him, so he's got to slow it down and wait for support. Lazaridis, offside way. They play that trap so well. Milan, the masters really of the offside trap. Comparisons with the great Real Madrid of the 60s and the Brazilian World Cup team of 1970, the Ajax and Liverpool sides of the 70s. It's a new era really for Milan football. The Dutch influence gone. That pass by Lentini could result in the second, but Bosnich, the man of the match for Australia with that save again. Costa Corta come up with Lentini and Bosnich. Well, he was telling me before the game, one of his teammates had offered him £500 for a Milan shirt, and that's why he's playing. But I think there's a bit more than that. A bit more than that shirt to play for. Bosnich might be playing for maybe a contract in Italy. And Bosnich well placed for that attempt from Di Napoli. I never really doubted the ability of this young man, but what a future Mark Bosnich has in the goalkeeping ranks. A real lesson tonight for the young goalkeepers watching. We're into stoppages right now. It's 1-0 in favour of Milan. They've got to just throw them all forward. Wade, Spink, Mori, Mogojevic. Polak was offside. And now players pulled up. The defence of Richard Lorenzi wouldn't have been able to see over his shoulder. Certainly when he turned around. But a better second half for Australia.
Much better, but the game really Bosnich's, isn't it, from Australia's point of view? Those 3 saves, just absolutely world class. I mean, there is a lot people will criticise about the English game, but if you can play in the first division in England, goalkeeping is the one position where they're among the best, if not the best. And Bosnich certainly benefiting from that experience.
Di Napoli, Donadoni. Albertini on. Costa Corta. Now Ivani. Just reminds you the way Milan started the game, just keeping possession, but that long ball, always an impossible task for Di Napoli to get to. And Ivani's had a career at one club, and that's the Milan club. 1 minute 40 of stoppages. Richard Lorenz has checked his watch. And there it is. Milan win the first game of the Optus AC Milan Tour. There were a lot of opportunities for this most spectacular Italian club. The unsung hero, no doubt, for Australia, Mark Bosnich.
And that's Andy Pascalidis and Johnny Warren at the microphone there, and that's game 1 of the 2-match series between the Socceroos and AC Milan. Of course, the Socceroos then went on to play Milan again the following night in Melbourne, and we'll replay that for you in edited form tomorrow morning at 11:30, half an hour earlier in Adelaide. Meantime, World Soccer, of course, continues next week, and next week at this time we'll bring you the match between Marseille and Paris Saint-Germain, the match that decided the French First Division. And beyond that, World Soccer continues. I'll be away on assignment, World Cup duty, in fact, for the next few weeks. But in the meantime, I'll leave you in the very capable hands of Andy Pascalidis. But until next week, from the World Game, good night.
sei uno squadrone, un gol, un tuffo dentro il cuore, la stella è un simbolo d'onore.